According to a new report from Vanity Fair, the MAGA world, the Trump world, have been flocking down here to the state of Florida in an attempt to basically turn Florida into a safe space for the MAGA crowd. They're heading down to Mar-a-Lago. Well, they can't actually get into Mar-a-Lago, but they're going to nearby areas. You also, of course, have plenty of right-leaning entertainers, I guess you would call them, in this area. You've got people like Laura Loomer. Of course, you've got Matt Gaetz, who goes down there all the time. You've got Ann Coulter, Lou Dobbs, Mark Levin, Tucker Carlson's got a place down here. Dan Bongino, Sean Hannity's got a place down here. Ben Shapiro. All of these hard right folks have been flocking to Florida. Some of them have been here long before Trump was, like Ann Coulter, been down here forever. But they're all starting to flock down here now, along with, of course, Donald Trump's kids. They really are, according to this Vanity Fair article, turning this into MAGA world. At least down there in South Florida. Roger Stone is a main part of this article, going around talking up Trump, going to bars. At one point, this is what he said. If you're 18 and trying to get laid, this is the place to go. At a little bar that Roger Stone took this writer to down there in MAGA land. This is disgusting. And this really, truly, folks, it's a cult. And it's a cult that all these other little wannabe cult leaders now are trying to latch onto. Your Ben Shapiro's, your Sean Hannity's. Ann Coulter actually says she's going to leave the state. But your Lou Dobbs are latching onto it. Your Laura Loomers are latching onto it. Obviously, Matt Gaetz has latched onto it because they all want to go for the ride. But what these individuals don't realize is that they are not the heirs to the Donald Trump fan base. Oh, sure, they're along for the ride, but one wrong move and they're out. Let's not forget the time that Matt Gaetz actually voted to limit Donald Trump's ability to launch airstrikes, and Trump got so pissed he didn't talk to him for months. And then, of course, Matt Gaetz took an even harder, pro-Trump turn to make up for things. And of course, now he's back in his good graces. But Gaetz knows as well as anybody else, you make one misstep. You do one thing out of line that doesn't show blinding loyalty to Donald Trump, and it's all over. And of course, let's also not ignore the fact that Donald Trump is a very old man. Donald Trump is a very old man who's clearly not in the best shape. So what happens to this safe space for the MAGA crowd down there in South Florida once he kicks the bucket? Do they pack up and leave? Do they stay? What do they do? The scariest thing is to think that these individuals are going to stay, and that Florida is going to become the epicenter of conservative talkers, conservative personalities. Florida's bad enough as it is already. We have a Republican Party that has been controlling this state for several decades now. Alabama, as deep red as they are, has had Democrats in charge more recently than Florida has. And I know in a general election, Florida is a so-called swing state. It really isn't anymore. And I think the 2020 election opened my eyes to that. Florida's a red state. And these maggots are coming down here to make it even redder. But not just more conservative. These are the crazier conservatives, the cultists, the Trumpists. And they're doing this at a time when we have the highest COVID rates in the country. We actually have higher COVID rates than most countries, higher hospitalization rates, higher death rates, higher numbers of children contracting COVID. We're being attacked by climate change. Corporate pollution down in Tampa Bay has killed hundreds of millions of tons of marine life this year. We've got toxic red algae, red tide, in some of the most heavily tourist populated areas of the state. Climate change has been battering us for years and years. And the more these Republicans come down here and call this their home because they're attracted to Trump, the worse things are going to get for the state of Florida. Perhaps eventually even driving people like me to find refuge elsewhere. I live in a deep, deep red county here in the state of Florida. And all those MAGA folk, they're going down to South Florida, not up here in Northwest. But it's only a matter of time before this area that I'm in gets even redder than it is now. And at that point, it may be time for me to grab the kids and the wife and say, you know what? Let's see if there's a better place we can go where we might actually have a decent state government that's not condemning us all to an early death because they're ignoring diseases, pollution, climate change, and all the other things that are currently far too rampant here in the Sunshine State.